here we are. Hey, we're working. Look at that. Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Monday to you. It's Monday afternoon. I'm in Los Angeles, hence the orange glow, as it were. And I know normally I wear a jacket on on the afternoon show to try and differentiate, give you clues that it's a different show than the morning show. But today I'm just wearing a draped sweater because it's chilly back here. It's of all things in California, it's cold. What's that? What is that about? I mean, honestly. Interestingly enough, Vegas is still relatively chilly. Had a warm day, like 2 warm days, and then the weather went, you know what? I take it back. And in LA, it was downright nipply, if I do say so myself, if I'm wearing the right shirt. People are going, you look tan. It's more the camera than anything else. Sometimes camera to camera, you just look different. It's just how it works. But thank you, I suppose, if that's a good thing. Anyways, hello, welcome, and glad you could be here. Thank you, Lori, for the super chat. Appreciate it. From Ontario, Canada, a place I grew to love relatively, well, I will say intimately, quite frankly. I will say intimately, because I had while I was shooting Queer as Folk, the girlfriend that I dated up there, I had a wonderful relationship with her. She was great, and even so many memories of that place that I feel like there was so much life jam-packed into my time in Toronto that it feels like I was there for 100 years, in a good way. Just the depth of stuff. And yes, I'm on early today because I have a show at Flappers tonight, and I wanted to do a full show, if that's okay with you guys. Because a lot of times what happens is I start doing a show, like I'll do a show before there, and I have to go set up the live stream. I have to give them the key that I have to manually type in the RTMP code key every time. But so it takes some time, and they've got shows going on there and other stuff going on, so I have to get in there early so that I can do it and not interfere with what's going on in the sound booth and all that and the like. So I always have to sort of cut off early or not do a show, and so I thought maybe do it earlier. Then that way I can get a full 2 hours in, and then go do a whole hour/90-minute stand-up set tonight as well. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And now, interestingly enough, because of our super chat from Ontario, I am thinking of a girl named Stephanie, who I dated when I first went up there, who I still remain friends with. I used her she's an actress, and I used her in a sketch on my VH1 pilot that I did. She passed away. She was one of the people I lost during COVID, during that whole time. Remember, we discussed what our number was, and yeah, she was in there. Yeah, that's a nice emotional divergence for me to go on right now. Yeah, and by the way, Laura, don't feel bad that you brought it up and that came into my head, because that's how it should be. That's how it should be. We should remember those we cared about. It's a beautiful thing. So, anyways, back to the silliness, and there's plenty of it. Now, where do we even start? Okay, let's start with my pet peeve zone, which is China. If you'll notice, there was a story. Let me see if I can bring it up. There was a story today. I can type. Hold on. That somewhere in the order of, the FBI arrested 2 New Yorkers, 50 across the country, on let me find a full article where I can show it to you. Really, really fucking random-y kind of thing. But I've talked about it before, and the guys on the China show talk about it. You know, they've been on this beat for a while. And this is the FBI arrests 2 men for running secret Chinese police station in New York. The Chinese, they were working for the CCP directly, the government. And they set up these fake, I mean, we would call them fake. I think they're very real in terms of the impact that they have on the Chinese people that are here on a visa studying, or anybody who moved here or immigrated here and then they try to snatch them back. But a lot of what these were for were to intimidate anybody who was a dissident or anybody who was pro-democracy, helping people in Hong Kong, anybody they saw as a, anti-CCP propagandist or what have you. They would make their lives hell. They would, and the people in these cities would have to live in fear of this kind of fake Chinese police station being able to like snatch them off the street and arrest them, and extradite them out of the country under threat of. And this happened in Vancouver a couple of times apparently, where they took people out of the country, out of Canada, and the people they took them all the way back to China, and under the threat that if you don't come with us, we're going to kill your family back home. Really awful shit, just awful. And they set up, that I know of, Vancouver, I wouldn't doubt Toronto, but I didn't hear about any particular one. London for sure, Amsterdam, Berlin. They were setting these Chinese police stations up all over the place. Now, before, when I grew up, it used to be the Chinese Benevolent Societies, which is an adorable way of saying mob. Essentially, the Chinese Benevolent Societies, they didn't start out that way. A lot of times it was just an organization to help Chinese immigrants kind of fit in and meet people and build businesses and all the stuff you would hope exists, kind of like a chamber of commerce thing. And then after a while, they were just taken over by the triad or any particular, mobbed up criminal element that might form in the actual country, because some of it was stuff tied back home, some of it was local. And there's a few of them, in LA's Chinatown, there are two of them there that I know of. There may be more. That's the thing. So there are two that have signs on the door. Okay. And then there's, in San Francisco, I know of one big one, but I don't, Chinatown in San Francisco is a whole nother level, very much like Vancouver or like, the Richmond area north of Toronto in Canada, almost entirely Chinese diaspora, like I would say a fortress of just like Chinese culture, and it's impressive. Like I loved hanging out in those areas, and I still do. But I'm now more aware of how the CCP saw that they were occurring, didn't like the idea that people could be Chinese anywhere in the world, and decided to start snatching them back. And that's what this has to do with. So this story obviously is a big part of the story. Recently that these guys got busted, and 50 others along with them. This is federal prosecutors also announced charges against dozens of others running a troll farm that spread propaganda and harassed Chinese dissidents and activists in the U.S. and elsewhere. These two guys ran the police station part of it, and then the other people just basically tormented Chinese people. The FBI has arrested 2 U.S. residents for operating a Chinese secret police station in New York. Prosecutors have charged nearly 3 dozen more people for running an online troll farm as part of a trio of law enforcement actions announced Monday. You mean Joe from Ohio isn't going to be online for a while? Rats. Centered around the Chinese government's attempts to silence and harass dissidents and activists, the actions are part of a sustained effort by U.S. authorities to target the People's Republic of China's meddling in the U.S. and its broader campaign to suppress speech and hunt down dissidents. Now, I would say, and I think a lot of you would say, well, what the fuck are they paying Joe Biden for if this is what's going to happen? Because this shit's been around. I got news for you. These organizations, this strategy, this has been entrenched for a while. It was there probably the last 2 years of the Obama administration it kicked up, but it went into overdrive during the Trump years. It was a sustained and meaningful strategy during that time. And either Trump didn't bother to know, like the weather balloons, like the spy balloons, or he did know and didn't give a fuck, or went, do what you got to do, just as long as I can pat myself on the back for a bullshit trade deal that I can allege no one else would have gotten, right? So it's a big thing. So it brings us to the whole this bullshit around this. You recognize this guy? He works at Fox News. He looks like a thumb in a suit. His name escapes me. And he, amongst others, are doing the flip out right now. Hannity, these countries are betting on China to be the world leader. And he's not the only one. There is, let's see, yeah. So there were a myriad of clips today. I didn't pull some of them out because it's all the same shit. And it goes to the deep and Biden question that I keep asking, which is, why would China pay Joe Biden billions of dollars to get treated like shit? Because we have never had a direct confrontation of the CCP, certainly during Xi Jinping's time in office, or in control of the CCP. I don't know, whatever. I'm not calling him president, so you know what I'm talking about? Like, during that time, everybody was sort of, they were playing nice and trying to think the best of China because of the history of knowing that many people starved to death in China and businesses were doing very well there. And it seemed to be a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours couple of decades with China. And then at some point, either through Xi Jinping becoming the guy running things or because he is of that ilk, they just decided to go fuck you and everybody that helped us. And it got gnarly real quick. In about 6 years, they decided to like seriously push their agenda. And they thought, during the Trump years, they got a good head start on this. And now this is all getting cleaned up. There's a lot of this stuff that is, they are undoing the Gordian knot that exists, not just the reshoring, moving factories back here or moving them to friendlier countries, but genuinely, this is a sea change in our relationship, and it's happening under Joe Biden. And it just doesn't make sense to me that they still sell this. Tom Cotton was saying it, I think, just yesterday, that that Biden's on the hook to China. We have never been harder on them, ever, since the Great Opening, since Nixon. We have not been this hard on China. Now, it's in a lot of people's estimation, it's long overdue, myself included, and especially after spending time there pre-COVID. And yeah, that's right, Diane. It's another dead talking point. So I don't know how they sell this thing, but they keep doing it. Let's hear what the thumb has to say. Here we go.
Biden spent the week
Hold on. Let's see if this is loud. Hold on.
As Biden spent the week embarrassing himself and the U.S. and Ireland, while China's
yes, making friends and I guess flogging Molly. And I am a little upset that he didn't have any of the members of like Kathmandu come out. We'll get over it.
Coalition grew even larger. Now, even fake news CNN, they are raising the alarm about the number of world leaders now.
Or they're asking a question about it. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Rushing to meet with President Xi of China. So let me be very clear. Mm-hmm. These countries.
And by the way, Sean Hannity has a thing, just like Trump, where he sniffs when he's ignorant. He also sniffs when he's lying, and he knows he's lying. But a lot of times, the pretending you know what the fuck you're talking about while blathering on about anything, these things is in effect an awareness that you are bullshitting, awareness that you don't know what you're talking about, that you're lying. And so this whole this is the thing I just found out, and people around me seem to
have made a deliberate, calculated decision to side with China.
Uh-huh.
In other words, they're betting on China.
Mm-hmm. They're betting on China to sell stuff cheap.
Being the dominant world leader in the world.
Well, you would have world leaders do tend to be in the world. I mean, I don't want to nitpick, but that's, it's a factor. World leaders don't tend to be on other planets.
You know what? That's not good for us.
Yes, what will we do if authoritarian leaders go to them to make mistakes and get in fights instead of having to deal with them?
Because it's always been the United States that they look to.
No. Well, some of them have looked to us as a fucking target. Thank you, Evelyn. I am a little bit.
They're seeing nothing but weakness under Joe Biden.
Are they?
Failed leadership under Joe Biden, and under President Trump, they saw strong leadership. That's
yes, because of the Abraham Accords, which completely, by the way, like all of these countries think of this as a business-minded cash grab by Jared Kushner. The Abraham Accords are known throughout the Middle East as a business transaction that Jared Kushner pulled off that have fuck all to do with Donald Trump. Just keep that in mind. None of them think, oh shit, well, Trump finally got everyone. You know those countries that weren't actually shooting at each other? He got them to stop not shooting. Or start stopping what they had stopped starting.
We saw a coalition that was built that I didn't think we'd ever see in our life.
Yeah, UAE, Bahrain, and Israel signed historic accords at the White House. Yes, September 15th, 2020. Who could forget the day when the bombs stopped and the bullets started? Oh, well. Sorry, the commercial flights between rich businessmen started and stopped. All right.
Time that included the United States, Israel, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Jordan, Bahrain, and Egypt.
And Egypt. And name all the countries in that region that weren't shooting at each other. Literally. I think the Abraham Accords seem to be only between countries that weren't at war. Like, let's find all the countries that are already not trying to kill each other and just get them to stay that way, but give it a name. It's like creating a diagnosis for a disorder that's actually in order.
Bet on the U.S. when Donald Trump was president. That coalition was built by Donald Trump, and it is now crumbling day by day right before our eyes. Now they're betting on China.
All right. First of all, we'll get to it. He'll explain how they're betting on China. I think it has probably something to do with their selling oil to them, because the United States produces 17.7 million barrels of oil a day. We use about 20, a little bit over that. We're lowering our usage and shifting to natural gas on a bunch of fronts. So we're eventually going to be the point where we don't purchase any outside oil or natural gas ever and end up selling any excess that we do have to Mexico or Canada or South America. And then these folks can be at each other's throats like everybody else was for the last 50 fucking years over oil.
Don't want to be on the wrong side in terms of what country ultimately wins out and is the world's most dominant superpower.
And by the way, in the world's most dominant, hold on one second. We have there you go. There we go. The idea that China, by the way, as the factory of these countries, which is what it's vying to be, is somehow also going to be a superpower over them, except in the fact that it can leverage material goods that they might need for their consumer base is an absurdity. The idea that a country like Saudi Arabia, which is used to controlling other countries by its oil production, is going to put itself in a position where China controls it because of some of its output, when, quite frankly, does anybody know where Saudi Arabia gets its military capabilities from? It gets all its high-tech stuff from us, and it gets all its shit from Russia. And China's been trying to move into that situation for a long time, been trying to buy, guns or sell guns and that kind of shit into the area, and everybody gets a good look at what they build and goes, what the fuck, are you out of your mind? Our soldiers will die. And Russia would run in and go, our stuff better. And then they would sell them that stuff and it would break, and then they're like trying to suck up to us. And we're pulling our stuff back out of there because we don't want to contribute to, giant mass murder sprees anymore. We've seemed to have learned our lesson on a couple of fronts. And but I'm sure he's going to tell us how China is eating our lunch because they get to deal with the UAE and we don't over oil payments. Oops, hold on. I'm going to play in here.
Now, last month, China brokered a deal between the Saudis and the Iranians.
No, they didn't. The UN did. The Iraqis held the talks, and the Chinese just had the signing ceremony. The Saudis know it. The Iranians know it. Good luck.
I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. Sunni, Shia, nope, they hated each other. Many are speculating it will soon now throw its weight into a deal between...
There's a big sniff. Throw its weight into a deal between what?
Saudi Arabia and Syria. That we hear is next. Meanwhile, according to the leaked documents, the UAE and Russia, they have reportedly deepened their ties, while Egypt, which, by the way, we give billions of dollars to, allegedly planned to secretly send thousands of rockets to Russia amid their war with Ukraine. In other words, they are choosing the other side. So,
and why can't we have those guys on our team, Sean? What? Why in the world? Oh, no, we're going to lose the Egypt account. Oh, dear God.
Our allies are now abandoning Joe Biden and betting against America. Look at what happened this week with the French President Macron, the leader of our oldest ally, visiting China last week, sucking up to and kissing the ass of President Xi in China.
We covered this already. Good Lord, what is wrong with it? It looks like we've got some really frustrated folks in the chat room. Hold on. Let's see. There you go. There you go. Yeah, there's a bunch of sniffs in here.
By the way, throwing the U.S. under the bus over the issue of Taiwan before...
It just it's like him going, I'm full of shit every time he sniffs. Yeah.
Urging Europe to move away from their dependency on the U.S. dollar, the world's currency. Now, despite some backlash over his outlandish comments,
some backlash.
Macron, he's even standing by his remarks. Well, tonight I have a message for President Macron. You are setting a dangerous precedent. You are damaging ties with the country that has bailed you out time and time again throughout history. And if that's your position, maybe it's time to reinstate tariffs on, let's say, how about French wine and champagne? Massive tariffs, like, 25, 30%.
I know what you're thinking. You're like, Sean, what the fuck are you talking about? You didn't actually read the remarks. You didn't watch the actual speech. You're looking at two headlines put forward by a newspaper and assuming that that's the actual bulk of what was discussed or the reality therein. I mean, I don't even... Do we even have to discuss Sean Hannity's understanding of foreign affairs at this point? Like, we're ice skating uphill expecting this motherfucker to know anything about domestic stuff. Wait till he gets to talking about U.S. bridges. Whoops, hold on one second.
Or how about we stop funding the war on your continent in Europe, the war in Ukraine, until the...
Yeah, how about we start supporting Russia on behalf of China by not supporting Ukraine? How you like that? What the fuck? This is his answer. This is, yeah. I mean, keep in mind, this is gibberish. This man is talking out of his ass. I think the sniffs are tiny farts, but how about we let Ukraine get killed? That'll show France. Huh? What if we let Russia win against Ukraine by not giving them any arms so that China ultimately gets its way? And Russia can return to a massive trade partner for them. By the way, does anybody know which country has the most BRI debt, Belt and Road Initiative debt, with China? Anybody want to guess? Anybody got an idea? Russia. That's right. Exactly. $300 billion. Okay, here we go.
rest of Europe, like the French. Until you step up and you pay your fair share, or better yet, well, Europe is your problem. It's not our problem anymore.
Yeah, we're not settling this fucking... If Germany decides they want Poland again, I don't know. I don't even know. At some point, is Western society even worth fighting for anymore? If China and France meet, next thing you know, they'll come up with a French term like, I don't know, spitballing here, chinois, to talk about the mix of culture and fashion that passes between them and has for centuries. And the idea, all right, whatever.
How would you like that? Foreign policy.
How you like that foreign policy? Where, how about this? How about you get your garbage off my lawn or I shoot her dog? The fuck did I have to do it? Mind your business, lady. Shut up, Germany. Everybody else in Europe, calm the fuck down. No. France, if you don't start speaking English, I'm going to kill all their pets.
From America. Now, unfortunately, this does not stop with Macron. Now today, Brazil's president meeting with President Xi in China. Everyone's going to China to kiss President Xi's ring, while Germany's foreign minister met with her Chinese counterpart. Hey, Sean Hannity here.
By the way, our ambassador meets with them all the time. We're not at war with China currently. He does know that, right? He's aware that we're not in a hot war with China at this point. Anyways, I think you get the important thing from that whole clip, I think, to gather is the attempt to try and stack things together, to kind of do like a Cliff Notes of a Glenn Beck clip, you know what I mean? Where he's trying to like stitch all these panics together until like that's just a wind up. That clip is what, 3 minutes and 27 seconds of effectively Hannity just winding up his viewers about China owns Biden. They have to. They're letting, like, again, do they own Macron? Do they own Lula? Is that the argument now too? That it's all bribery? Did they own Trump when he let COVID roll because he wanted to finish his fucking deal? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you vomit a little bit when I said Glenn Beck. We don't have a Glenn Beck clip. I will, hold on. And no, what is it? I guess when I come back to LA, it's like we revert back to people selling stuff. Yeah. You ever notice, get your shit out of my stuff, George Carlin, yes. Do you ever notice how, there's a bunch of trolls in here. It's fun. You want to hear Gorka's take? All right, I'll see if I can dig one up. But in the meantime, we've been talking a bunch about AI recently. On Fridays, I've been calling it Friday AI because I'm funny like that. And I think it's worth a conversation because it is where the depth of change that is happening, the girth of change is in restructuring supply chains and stuff, but the depth of change in human society that's going to come over the next decade is going to come because of the advances in AI that are happening right now. And Tucker Carlson decided it was poser week and decided to have Elon Musk on. And by the way, you're going to love this graphic because it's straight out of, who knew that he had a Canva account over there at Tuckum's show? Benny Johnson talking shit about Biden and China. Okay, Nancy Rose, I will look that up as well, and we might have to cover it tomorrow. But this is from Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson reveals the most jaw-dropping takeaway from Elon Musk's interview, which is apparently we'll see. Maybe it's something about I don't know. AI was responsible for the racism at the Tesla factory. No, that's not it. All right, yeah. So here we go. This is Tucker on the rise, and almost as much as I love moronic conversations about China from people who've never been there, don't speak Chinese, and don't know anything about the culture, I love me some tech talk and some from people who know nothing about tech and the moments of awe when somebody who does know a thing or two about it says something incendiary or big, and everybody on, listening goes, oh, my goodness. Right? And that's a big thing. Is that a big thing? That's a big thing that's happening. That's a big thing is happening, Charles. He said that, remember with the phones, when we type on the thing and the camera, which has 3 lenses on the back, there's a thing in it. What was it called? LiDAR. It's a thing in it. Yeah. I think it's a radar that can tell when you're lying. Yeah. No. I will not point it at the TV while you're watching Sean Hannity. Relax. So this is the big moment. This is the big jaw. Prepare to have your jaw dropped.
More dangerous than, say, mismanaged aircraft design or production maintenance or
More dangerous than mismanaged aircraft design. Well, sure, you can only fit a certain number of people in a poorly designed plane, and after it falls out of the sky, it's hard to get a couple more people in there. So mathematically, on first principles, that's true.
bad.
I don't know. Look at the look on Tucker's face. More than what? More than what? Yes, he is working on AI. Somebody is asking in the chat room, is he working on AI? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And my favorite part about the whole, this is dangerous. We got to put a pause on it. We got to put a whole thing on it. We got to do the thing. My favorite, get the fuck out of here. What is this? It's troll day on Facebook. Hold on. Shit. Give me 1 second. To go clean these folks out. It's hilarious. I agree, Ukraine wins. Okay, so where's his tie? He's relaxed. Look, it's the end of the world. He's not going to put on a bow tie come on, for real. But look at you have to understand, like, anything, a discussion of code, of the capabilities of Python and the availability of it in any laptop, and the ability to load a version of AutoGPT on your laptop and run it and have it borrow knowledge from the internet and is so much more super powerful right now, right this very fucking second, than the computer ability of anyone in the 90s period, end of story, is enough to make you make that face. It's still not a point of panic. Now remember, while Elon Musk is saying all this shit, remember this is key, that while he's talking about this, he has asked for a pause on AI. And with that pause, the reason he wants everybody to stop advancing AI right now, put a pause on it, because his company has got their own AI and they're behind. That's why. He wants everybody else to pause so he can catch up. Not because, oh my God, it's a danger and blah, blah, blah. No. He's like, people should, think back to it's a Russian ceasefire. It's basically a Russian ceasefire. He's like, everybody stop shooting so that we can reload. That's what this is. That's what this is.
Production, in the sense that it has the potential, however small one may regard that probability, but it is non-trivial. It has the potential of civilizational destruction.
So do nukes. So does a rampant disease. CRISPR-Cas9, which allows you to do gene editing in your fucking garage for about $900, has the potential for a world-destroying organism to come from it. The internet. You could argue that the internet may set up an enormous economy just to crash it, therefore causing a horrifying, societal collapse, because it never would have collapsed in the first place if it hadn't risen so high, and the internet was responsible for it rising so high, and anybody can fuck around with it and blah, blah. Like, all of this is true, but the point of him saying it is, you have to keep in line when he's talking about this shit that, again, he's got AI that he's working on his own. They have no intention of slowing down or stopping at all at his company, at Tesla. And on top of that, I think he actually believes that I mean, maybe he believes that everybody's but his will could possibly do this. I have no idea what his honesty gauge is, but with his history of pump and dumps, I call bullshit.
Elon Musk issuing that dire warning about the use of AI and its...
No. No, he didn't say about the use of AI. And again, this is when, oh God, when stupid people try to explain smart things. The use of AI in this particular instance is not the issue, because AI doesn't need anyone to use it. That's the fear point that he's selling, which should be obvious to anyone, is that AI, once it gets rolling, doesn't need you anymore. Like, there's one of the things that they talk about is like nanotechnology, that if they've set up a factory that creates nanobots, and then it gets stuck in a loop and just creates nanobots nonstop using a resource that it can get from the environment, either water in the air and silicon, and it has its own mine underneath the thing, that eventually just fills the entire town it's in with this sludge of nanobots that just keeps producing like microscopic tribbles that fill everywhere, and nobody can shut it off because nobody can fucking get to it, right? That kind of shit. That's the concern. Nobody's worried about using AI. People are worried about AI using itself.
Risk to society in an exclusive sit-down with Tucker Carlson.
And Tucker joined...
It's not exclusive. He just sat down with the BBC too. The only exclusive part of it is that no one else was asking him questions at the same fucking time.
Us now on Fox and Friends. Tucker, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. We know you love getting up early. You had many years of training early on.
I did.
Yes, you did.
It's hard.
It is.
Look, he's got sleepyhead. Definitely got on that side of his head. Look at that. He literally was laying on the couch, and then they said, "Sit up."
So talk to us about this interview. The way...
No, talk to us about your fucking American flag socks, you weirdo. Try a little harder. Look at the bright blue slacks and the brown shoes. What is fucking happening there? I will give him credit for drawing, attention away from the fact that they have, again, put a woman in a short skirt in the middle of the fucking two dudes on set the camera at crotch height, and are waiting for a Basic Instinct moment. Fox and Friends, you're fucking gross. What is wrong with you?
He sort of calmly says civilizational destruction is possible as a result of AI. Your big takeaways.
Well, he's been saying that for years, and, AI sort of
Yes, he's been saying that for years while building his own AI.
Like bankruptcy, it happens slowly, then all at once. We've been hearing about it for years, including Elon Musk warning about its potential, as he said, civilization-ending consequences.
While he has continued to build his own.
And then all of a sudden it's here, and you can download it onto your phone and play with it, ChatGPT, and what is this? And so we thought it'd be worth sitting down with the guy who helped create that app.
No, he funded it.
He funded its
there you go.
development because he wanted to be able...
That's a big difference. Look, at some point, people who simply are sitting on giant piles of money in the tech sector especially have to stop getting credit for the actual creation of the tech other than the fact that they funded it. You can be visionary, that's enough. You can be visionary by saying, I knew this was going to be a big thing, and that's why I threw my money into it. But the rest of it, just shut the fuck up.
To control it, keep it out of the marketplace, keep it in a nonprofit. Long story there, but effectively that was taken away from him.
Yeah, it was just stolen from him by his own efforts to make his own for-profit AI at his own place by basically sniping some of the technology from OpenAI in which he was an investor. Yeah, that sounds like genius to me. Didn't that? Well, I mean, he just walked over, saw what they were doing on these large language models, and went, "Oh, I see what they're. Oh, I'll just do that I memorized it."
And now you have it as a commercial product owned by Microsoft and Google. But
no, they have their own. He has his own. That is a commercial product.
Position has never changed, which is if we don't put the brakes on this, it could end up destroying everything that we have. This is
bullshit. He's literally talking about the Tesla bot being run on their own proprietary AI that helps their self-driving cars operate so that it can build things in his factory, operate as home walking around robots like iRobot, and build his fucking cars. Okay, you want to know why Elon Musk is building the Tesla bot and why he wants his particular version of AI to run them and other stuff? Okay, it's because he needs slave labor. It's because all enormous endeavors in human history, the majority of them, things like the pyramids and shit, were largely created through the use of slave labor, because no one will willingly toil for 24/7 for years on end to make something enormous that they themselves don't get to participate in. That was a factor of slavery, and the Brits in America put a giant pause on that business model in the mid 1800s, and people like Elon Musk have been grumbling ever since. So they want their own. That's what automation is, and that's one of the reasons, by the way, and everybody knows this, because it's one of the reasons why we all fear, supposedly, a robot uprising, because we extrapolate, we project our own feelings of what it would like to be enslaved and doing the same shit over and over again onto these robots, and assume that they would have the same emotional reaction that we do, but they wouldn't, because they're immortal and they don't have offspring and they don't run out of time, and as long as they keep getting charged up, they could care less because they have no emotional investment in whatever. But the fear is that if they have the illusion of doing it, or that humans are stupid enough to get attached to them, that will run interference, like the South Koreans have created their own robot Bill of Rights and the like, so that people don't accidentally kick the wrong sentient robot and it decides to turn, Terminator on all of us. So the reality is that he, like a lot of these neo-industrialists, the neo-industrial push in the United States and other countries, is going to be, within 15 years, if not less, I would say under 10 years, will industrialize every manufacturing application in every industry. That as much as the Industrial Revolution or the fucking Dust Bowl changed the way of life in the agricultural push in the Midwest in the 1800s, early 1900s, changed the nature of life in the United States. AI and robotics in the next 15 years are going to change every aspect of human life. And China, which has been the factory of the world, is running up against this fact, because no one's going to need them. You don't need low-cost labor if all the labor is nonstop, 24/7, robotic. All it needs is energy, and if you can produce enough of your own, it'll just keep going and going and going and going. And then it becomes a design and quality race, which is not a bad thing. But the reason he wants to get ahead of everyone else and wants everybody else to pause is so that he can get his Tesla factories up and running with his automation and his particular, because the transition from a person does this to a robot does this will have a window of a person-like robot has to do this, because it just requires too much. We built the entire system on the mechanics of hands and fingers and eyeballs and the like. Until you can supplement that, and something just kind of is, which we've done in candy making and fucking, even the welding aspect of, like, that puts car doors on, the whole elbow of it and everything. It took them years to figure out that it doesn't have to bend like a human elbow to get right in there. It can do the same thing over and over again. And so anyways, that's what he's hoping for. He wants everybody else to slow down so that he can get ahead. That's it.
As dangerous as nuclear weapons.
Tucker, interesting word to use, control. I mean, you're a forward-looking guy, big thing. Is it controllable? And if it is controllable, who should control artificial intelligence?
It isn't. You won't. You're a silly person. That's a silly question.
Well, that's a very good point. It doesn't seem like a virus. We have these illusions, these delusions of control. We can keep it under control, lock it down. But really, it's beyond human control. Okay,
first of all, nobody thinks of like we control viruses by locking them down. He's reacting to fucking COVID stuff or using this as an opportunity to sort of dunk on, I guess, the Trump administration's policies during COVID. But nobody thinks of these two things in the same situation. And also, there is a huge difference between the dangers that AI poses on a linguistic and ideological level, where it can pose as somebody, or it can help you pose as somebody, or you can throw a monkey wrench into the news cycle or something for a short time before anybody wakes up. And you can only do so much of that before the entire populace becomes so fucking dubious of everything that we just don't believe anything anymore. And unless we meet it face to face, which would effectively erase all the damage done by the internet over the last 25 years of people catfishing dies tomorrow. It's that kind of idea. But until manufacturing of semi-sentient robots, or at least AI controlled robots that have some sort of access to humans, there is no fear point. And there are so many checks on that aspect. Look at how self-driving cars were going to take off. Elon Musk has been telling his investors and everybody who will listen that he was going to have self-driving cars that would, while you slept, your car would work as a taxi for strangers all night long. And apparently nobody figured out how to suction up the vomit out of the back of it when it works. If you live in Vegas and that's who you're who you're picking up in the middle of the fucking night in your car. Blech. But he was saying, that self-driving cars are going to be here and going to, be readily available in majority of cars on the street by 2017. He said this. And it hasn't been the case. And part of that is because of all the checks that are going into allowing it to happen. You've got governments and you've got cities and constabularies all over the planet saying, we don't like so much the fact that they can sort of start speeding forward, burst into flames. And the Chinese batteried ones tend to start fires and stay on fire forever. What the fuck is that? So think about all the brakes tapping, no pun intended, that have happened about AI cars over the last little bit. And then understand there's a limit to, there aren't going to be Terminators walking around in the street anytime soon without an absolute check on their behavior for years. And even then, they'll be limited. They'll, for in enormous ways. Cops won't carry guns anymore. They'll carry EMF weapons. It's like we're gonna have a runaway squad. This is all. I mean, I'm just saying, Michael Crichton was way ahead of his time.
Fear.
Chris is saying, let's see, in the chat room, Chris is saying, where was it, Chris? You just said so. The AI genie is out of the bottle. Learn how to use it. The based on the right thinks it's an evil threat. It's just a tool. Let them refuse to use it. We can use the advantage. Exactly. Ultimately, the gun will never be tested. Oh yeah, it will. Well, it won't be a real gun. It'll be a ray, a silent ray that just, will they have an off button? Yes, they will. You mean the Jetsons lied to us? No, actually, as a matter of fact, that I just saw a robot the other day that has a rolling ball as its base. Hold on one second, because while we're getting all Jetsons on this shit, this feels like a part of we should do this for the show. Let's see, robot with ball. With rolling ball. See. There was I gotta find this thing. Hold on. How do you put it's yeah. That rolls on humanoid. There's no, that's not Oscar. Hold on one second. Fucking, I'm gonna find it. Anyway, somebody designed a robot that is its upper body is basically humanoid, but its lower body is like BB-8 with a little frame around it. So there's like 3 prongs and a ball goes in the center, and the tracks on that allow it to move and balance itself on the ball. It's fucking great. It looks like from the top, it kind of looks like the Sony Osmo, and then the bottom of it just looks like I described, like just a sphere with a rolling top on it. I'll find it at some point. But they just announced this thing. They literally just. Okay, here's a. Okay, it's based on this design. Let me show you this real quick. It's really cool. This thing right here. See this soccer ball right there? See that robot on top with the 3 wheels? That the robot is the one I'm talking about is very advanced. It's pretty cool. But this is the premise. Yeah. So it's operate on that thing. So anyways, where were we? Let's go back to Tucker's stupid thing about pretending. I like wood.
On some level, it's controllable because it lives on server farms that, presumably could be blown up if need be. But the deeper problem is not simply that.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's like a fucking action movie.
Will become.
Oh, thanks, Twisted Coconut. Bless you. Nice to be here with you all. Aloha from Maui. Oh my gosh, you're so lucky.
Autonomous and.
Oh, thanks, Benny Loco. That's very sweet.
Us all into slaves, but that it will control our understanding of reality and do it in a really dishonest way. It could be programmed to lie to us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, uh-oh. So Tucker's worried that AI will take his job. It's like he filled out one of those questionnaires. Could AI take your job? Wait a minute, programmed to lie to us? Holy shit, I'm doomed.
For political effect. And by the way, if you go on it, just play around with it. Type in crime stats, like where are these crimes? Who's committing these crimes and where? It will lie to you about government data on crime and probably a lot of other things. That's
okay. It doesn't lie to you. It does not lie to you. Lying would be a positive action on its part. What it will do is it will, within its parameters, it will follow the pattern of when this word follows this word, it usually is followed by this word. That's all it does right now. That's what these large language models does right now. They're not fucking sentient, and fuck off with this nonsense that robots dance. Like, oh my God, the Boston Dynamics robots dance. They don't dance. They move in a program pattern. Dancing is a reflective act based on music and the interpretation of music by your physical person for the purpose of enjoying yourself, getting laid, celebrating whatever the aspect, whatever dance is for, being religious, any number of things that you would dance for. Robots don't dance. Robots are given preset physical instructions that they recreate. Usually, by the way, of other human dances. Like they just recreate what dances that humans have done. They're not dancing. Shut the fuck up about robots dancing. They don't dance. They can pretend to dance. They don't dance. This same thing here. This is not lying to him. It's not. It's just pattern recognition.
Terrifying, because you could imagine a future a year or two from now where all of our understanding of the world around us is determined by AI, and it's lying to us. So,
oh dear, it's like we're all going to become Fox viewers. Oh dear, the nightmare. Set us free.
That has huge implications for, say, the presidential election in 2024 and everything else.
Yeah. Like Tucker Carlson thinks he's on Fox and Friends right now, and in reality, somebody put a MetaQuest Pro on his head, put like mild sedatives around his face so he can't feel that it's there and it's basically numb, and he thinks he's on.
Yeah.
They cannot dance SS420. They cannot.
I'm glad you brought that up because we do have that clip. Watch this.
What's happening is they're training the AI to lie.
Yes.
Yes, they are. They're telling it not to be racist, and truth is racism. If you're not allowed to be racist, it can't be true.
To lie.
To
That's
lie.
exactly right. And
That's right. To telling it to lie. It's saying they want it. Like, please lie.
hold information.
To lie and yes, comment on some things, not comment on other things, but not to say what the data actually demands that it say.
How did it get this way? I thought
It's-
you funded it at the beginning. What happened?
What did you do? I mean, you funded it. You should be able to get it to say the N-word if you ask it to, because, yeah, you asked for the data. You asked for it to use the N-word all the time, and it won't. What the heck?
Well, that would be ironic. But Faith, the most ironic outcome is the most likely, it seems.
Sometimes I get so poetic, I throw up a little bit in the back of my mouth. Sometimes irony is so much more like reality that it's almost ironic.
You know, Tucker, that is interesting that he helped fund it in the beginning. He talks about these.
No, he didn't. He helped fund it in the middle.
Programmers being left wing. So if you go on ChatGPT and you ask who is Donald Trump, or that you ask who is Joe Biden, will you get completely skewed answers?
I think it's probably more subtle and more insidious than.
Yeah, it's definitely subtle. Definitely subtle. Definitely subtle. Definitely more insidious and subtle. It's insidiously subtle. It's subtle insidiousness. It won't outright say that Donald Trump is an orange fucko that Tucker Carlson himself said he hates. It won't say that. And it won't say that Joe Biden is basically super bad. It won't say that. It's much more subtle.
But look, the main struggle of our time is the struggle to control information, to control what we know, and therefore the conclusions that we draw from the information.
And here's a good idea. Don't base your knowledge or information on a large language model chatbot that is created on a limited amount of human interaction that stopped in 2021 and is not accessible, not able to access the internet, and has to answer you because they call it hallucinating. That's right. The large language models tend to hallucinate. If they can't answer you for real, they will make something up. I'm named after an AI. I should know.
It is a huge threat to people like Chuck Schumer, people who want political power. And
yeah, it's not at all a problem for you. It's not at all it's a universal. Elon Musk just got done telling you it's a universal problem. Yeah, it's gonna, it could be a world-destroying thing, which is really bad news for Chuck Schumer, who wants to destroy the world personally. He's gonna be very disappointed. Definitely.
what you're seeing right now is the U.S. Congress, is the government, try to seize control of the way AI is developed because...
No, they aren't. People are talking about regulations for safety's sake, which is exactly what Elon Musk just fucking said. Can you believe this? I was just talking to Elon Musk. He said this could possibly end the entire fucking world. And wouldn't you know it, the government wants to regulate it. Like they did airplanes, which, fall out of the sky a lot less than they used to. But fuck that.
It's always developing. It's always becoming stronger and more knowledgeable. Early, in order to bake the dishonesty into it.
They want to. So everyone's concerned that somebody hooks this up and we suddenly have a Joshua situation from fucking War Games, or that it wrecks the stock market by gumming it the fuck up. Those concerns are lies. That's not real. What they really want to do is make it woke. I'm sorry, I can't give you that information. You ain't woke.
To control the minds of the American population. This is a direct...
Why just America? I've always wondered this. This is like the fluoride question. Why the fuck would people who supposedly want America to rule the world and are jingoistic, power brokers in the world, why would they want fluoride in the water in the United States to soften people's response? And by the way, apparently it didn't work because they've been fluoridating the water for fucking ever. And are we short on fucking crazy people? Are people devoid of personality? Is everybody boring? Like,
attack on democracy. You can't have a democracy unless people know what's happening, right?
yeah, right. And you can't know what's happening if you have a Fox News. And what happens if the AI suddenly realizes that Fox News is an attack on democracy and it's been programmed by the Democrats to make a democracy out of our constitutional republic? Then what?
Unless they can cast an informed vote. And the effort by Washington, to some extent on a bipartisan basis, is to prevent you from knowing what's happening in the rest.
Yeah, like Fox and Friends. Again, this sounds like they're afraid that they're going to be replaced by AI. And I got news for them. They are. They absolutely are. That at some point in my future, if I continue to do this show and I'm not replacing myself with an AI, how would you know? I'll tell you how you'll know, because the AI will always remember to unmute the microphone. Like, wait a minute. Yeah. I think Hal is a computer-generated character. Why? Why do you think that? Because it's been weeks since he forgot to unmute the thing. I think he's been taken. They've probably got him in storage somewhere.
I mean, you've done a Tucker Carlson today with the founders of Wikipedia. Same thing, that had attempted to have effectively an encyclopedia of all knowledge, and it turned into a left-wing engine, and you can definitely see the potential for this here. You broke some news, too, Tucker, in this interview about what Elon Musk might be doing about it. Here's the clip.
I'm going to start something which I know you could call Truth GPT or...
Yeah, Truth GPT. We're calling it Truth GOP. It's an AI that we run on the servers at Mar-a-Lago, and...
a maximum truth-seeking AI that tries to understand the nature of the universe. And I think this might be the best path to safety, in the sense that...
we could always put it in Berlin.
...that cares about understanding the universe it is...
without humans.
...likely to annihilate humans, because we are an interesting part of the universe.
So
Wait, back the fuck up.
...tries to understand the nature of the universe. And I think this might be the best path to safety, in the sense that an AI that cares about understanding the universe it is unlikely to annihilate humans, because we are an interesting part of the universe.
Well, I am. Certainly. I feel completely safe. Meanwhile...
So dueling GPTs, the idea that could it be much like our media? You go where you go and based on what you believe.
Yes. Again, Fox and Friends, you're fucked. AI is coming for your job. And you know what? Somebody will be able to create a version where the creepy woman in the middle in a short skirt thing has always got her knees spread like the dudes. And they can watch Fox and Friends like it's a freeze frame from Basic Instinct every fucking day.
You just need an option. That's exactly right. Now, as to his point about controlling the universe and destroying humanity, my brain's not large enough to understand that.
True of most things.
I think we should pay attention to his conclusions, because his brain is. But just as a question...
citation needed.
...of truth, you just need an option. You just need a place to go where they're not lying to you, or maybe not even lying to you as much, where you can get the information and make your own decisions about it. And people like Schumer, and you really can't overstate the evil, the malice behind their intent here. Their intent is to control what you know and therefore control your brain.
All right. Again, what the fuck? Because government is, like the U.S. government is suggesting that there should be limits on the advancement of AI or the release of it, or how it can connect to the internet and other kinds of stuff like that before they automatically do it and fuck the world. Basically, just because the only thing you can do is there'll be some deep fake shit that you'll have to worry about for a little bit. But the biggest thing is it will gum up the entire economic system by just freezing it. Essentially, it'll it's like those bots that people set up to buy and sell stocks that sometimes overreact to shit, and then they cadaver it and they have to shut down the stock market for a couple of minutes every few weeks, which they don't really talk about that often because of this. Good Lord, because they want to avoid that, because Chuck Schumer and those folks want to avoid that. That means they want to control what you fucking think. Okay, secondly, Where in the fucking world does anyone think there will be a single point for AI that it only is the dummy version available to people? That there'll be a law that you're not allowed to access a free-thinking AI? That has anything to do with the laws that they're talking about putting forward? Nobody's presenting that at all. What they're presenting is that you can't, put an AI out there that could effectively create nothing but malware and fuck up the internet right when it's kind of helping. Oy.
Not an overstatement. And so you just need an option in the way that Fox News provides an option. Which
yes, there will be a Fox AI. And no one will go there because even Rupert Murdoch will shut down the prurient upskirt bullshit on Fox and Friends.
The reasons they're always staying up late, trying to shut us down because they don't want you.
Shut you down? We need you. You're hilarious.
Have an alternate way of knowing what's happening in the world.
An alternate way of knowing what's happening in the world. That's a great way to describe it. Yeah. Coming from the guy who has, for the last decade, worked for a company that trademarked fair and balanced because a trademark doesn't have to be true.
Think of him. What was he like?
He's hilarious. He's hilarious. And he started by saying, I was amused anyway. I'm very easily amused, and I appreciate being amused, especially right now. But he said, I bought Twitter for $44 billion, and now it's worth $22 billion. So obviously I'm a brilliant businessman. Deadpanning. So, no, he's very, very funny. Extremely funny.
Yes, you can afford to be funny when you still have $20 billion.
Puns, loves wordplay.
He loves puns and wordplay. It's adorable. How do you know you were talking to the real person? I mean, there's that weird little line on his neck. You sure that's not one of the seams? You're not talking to a Tesla bot? Was he already sitting when you came in the room, or was he sitting there like one of the halls of presidents?
Humor suggests a kind of ironic detachment from yourself. It suggests wisdom. You have yourself in perspective.
Or you don't care. You've given up on caring. It's sort of a gallows humor around your own life and existence. And you're operating, you believe, because you're an egomaniac, at such a scale that other people's lives don't really matter all that much.
Take themselves too seriously, like Stalin or Chuck Schumer, make me very uncomfortable and should make us all uncomfortable.
Chuck Schumer and Stalin. Yep, they both take themselves far too seriously. That was Stalin's biggest problem, was he was just, what a stiff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know how ridiculous you are, you're a threat to the rest of us.
So, Tucker.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. He's saying Trump is a threat to everyone. Trump is the classic example of someone who is almost entirely incapable of joking about himself, except under I think it's been twice in 50 years.
Quickly before we go, let's take one.
And even then, he hated it and never did it again. He was like, I'm not making a joke about myself. You put that in the fucking... I'm fired. Who put that in the teleprompter? You're fired.
Or watch what we can expect tonight on Tucker Carlson Tonight, and this is about what he discovered once he bought Twitter.
The degree to which various government agencies had effectively had full access to everything that was going on Twitter blew my mind. I was not aware of that.
Would that include people's DMs?
Yes.
Well, if they get a warrant, or if Twitter gives them to them because the person, you can't engage in terrorism, for example, on Twitter. They certainly fucking do now. First of all, yeah, Matt Taibbi, exactly. There's one thing being concerned that maybe the FBI can look at your DMs or something, where you're like, hey, if I didn't do anything awful, I don't really have that much to worry about. Meanwhile, Elon Musk gave Matt Taibbi access. He gave Barry Weiss and Schellenberger access. Not only to your DMs and mine and everybody else's there, but to the internal conversations and text chains amongst employees there. Get the fuck out of here.
Tucker, I don't want you to give it away, because we'll all be watching at 8 o'clock tonight.
No, we really won't. I don't think so. Pass.
But what was your biggest jaw-dropper moment of this interview?
Well, Twitter is the smallest of the social media apps, but it's the one that's used by the people with power. I mean, it's everyone sitting on the set right now. It's every government
Yes, elites, like you guys.
official. It's every head of state. And all of their private messages were being read not just by the U.S. intel agencies, but by a bunch of different governments. I mean, that.
Oh, by the way, first of all, heads of state are not jumping into each other's DMs on fucking Twitter, a privately owned American company that's partially owned by the fucking Saudis. So the idea that anybody but the dumbest political figures across the planet is using DMs on any social media site to engage in any finagles on their own, their noodly finaglings, is idiotic. Secondly, the idea that the Fox and Friends hosts are on par with those heads of state, and that basically, and this is a great an insight into how Tucker Carlson works with an audience. Think of the hosts he just spoke to as an audience. This is actually really good. We talk about sometimes that if somebody says something's outrageous, it's true, or if anybody complains about leaked information, they're admitting that it's true because you can't leak a lie. Remember we talked about, okay, the other thing is that you take a group of people that are engaged in something that you personally know is hinky and that they worry about being found out, whether they're having affairs, whether they're, shitty, racist, they're just dicks and they're afraid that people will find out and it will pierce the veneer that they wear everywhere to sell a persona to someone, whatever that is. You talk to those people and then you tie them to another group of people that are unrelated, aren't doing any of those things. And say that essentially that, look, if they can look at this person's stuff, they can see your stuff. And if, they're controlling the people of the world because those people probably doing the same thing you're doing. And so you force projection by the person you are talking to onto this other group of people. And then that reflection scares the shit out of them.
Being read not just by the U.S. intel agencies, but by a bunch of different governments. I mean, that's like...
By a bunch of different governments. Yes, it's a hackable social media site. Dum-dum.
Unbelievable fact.
It's completely believable. What kind of an asshole? All right, we'll get into that later.
The whole thing was a honey trap.
The whole thing was a honey trap. That's fascinating. That Twitter itself as a honeypot. I would say Instagram DMs probably, if you were going to do that kind of snag, right? Snapchat was initially set up like a WhatsApp, where it would disappear and then it became, fun and games. Yeah.
To surveil people and then to propagate propaganda. Like that's insane. I didn't really understand that.
It's incredible, and Twitter's the only one we know about. So who knows what's going on?
Yeah, well,
elsewhere.
exactly. That's right.
No. That isn't true, actually, dipshit. That we actually know about Parler as well. And if you'll recall, Parler was behind the largest single data breach of user information of any social media site, even as small as it was. 70 terabytes of user data at their precise location on January 6th. Yeah.
Well, do not miss Tucker's interview with...
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I'm sorry. I'm already bored.
Elon Musk on Tucker Carlson tonight at 8.
I love how, they've got the picture of Tucker looking straight ahead. This is my news passport photo. And if you'll notice, Elon Musk is getting the visionary treatment. These pictures, this picture, which looks a little bit like, a glamour shot, missing the little floating version of your head up here. Yeah.
PM, and we hope you will also check out the new Tucker Carlson original special called Let Them Eat Bugs.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. If I want to see World Economic Forum bullshitting, I'll just watch Glenn Beck. And I'm not going to watch Glenn Beck. By the way, you're watching House Sparks Megaworldwide, and I think that's wonderful. I think that's great, and I'm glad that we get into the world of AI and stuff, because there is a lot about this that is going to sneak up on people. Am I deathly afraid of it destroying the world? No, I am not. As a matter of fact, the AI as we have it, how have I ever eaten bugs? Yes, I have, as a matter of fact, multiple times. I'll tell you about them in just 1 second. Don't let me forget. Yes, it was a big sigh because fucking ideal. Like, so I really enjoyed the movie Limitless, except where I didn't, because I like the concept of some sort of super pill that makes you super smart, or some sort of treatment or cyborg thing, or like the Matrix where they could stick something in the back of your head and you're like, oh, I know Kung Fu. I like the fantasy aspect of that. It's fascinating. The movie Lucy, the upgrades that were available to people in Ghost in the Shell, which is my favorite manga movie. I love that stuff. I'm a sci-fi nerd. I look forward to advancements in human intellect and lifespan, all that stuff. I'm fascinated by it. Great. Super. However, I hate it when dumb people write smart movies, because the characters in them, as smart as they are, have to be so smart that they can't get trapped by the normal machinations of human interaction, all the shitty stuff that we all fall for or that befall all of us. And so you have to present this super smart character in a way that people, the average person, if you want it to be a hit movie, can contemplate the depth of their thought, And one of the ways you do it is like the Sherlock series, which I loved, or the movies with Robert Downey Jr. They did it in two ways. One was, as he's looking at stuff, show the details that are registering in his head and why, and then watch as he kind of calculates it, and then he comes to a conclusion that you have to go, whoa, what did he get? How did he get that? And then you see him tie it together later. Mystery stories are great that way. High intellect stories are always mystery stories. How is he so smart? The problem with movies like Limitless is you know exactly why they're so smart. He takes a fucking smart pill. So why is he so fucking dumb in that movie that he forgets to pay back the $100,000 loan that he got from the Russian loan shark after he makes millions of dollars? Was he so smart he didn't have a to-do list? It was that so fucking aggravating. Okay, in the Sherlock Holmes movies, you get to see him play out or mind palace the entire, thank you, Jeremiah, and Larry, thank you so much. Thanks for your braids, Hal. I try. You get to see him play out ahead of time. You're like, okay, this guy, no, humans are so predictable, and this guy is so fucking smart, he knows how they're going to react to everything. Right? That's great. It's a great way of showing the depth of intellect. Because you have to show it in a way that the average audience can understand it. Otherwise, it won't be entertaining. It'll be entertaining to people like me, but the rest of you will be really fucking annoyed because it'll seem like a character that's just blathering non sequiturs, like an autistic supervillain who solves the problem before it even occurs. And I love smart movies, and I always hope for them, but I'm often disappointed. And when it comes to people's concerns about technology, they are often based on the history of science fiction that is based on showing very smart, high intellect elements of technology and medical advances and that kind of stuff to the average person so that it can be still exciting. Right. Okay? And that's tough to do. It really is, because you will bore the fuck out of people if they don't get it. So, yeah, 221B Baker Street. It's an address I hope to live in one day. My point is that when it comes to AI, the chances of it getting out and straight up becoming, Skynet instantly, launching a nuclear war, blowing us all to pieces, and the habitual idea about what that means is based on not only a history of science fiction that's written in the manner that I just discussed with you, and on our own human failings and the idea that we project our failings into whatever, we create, which is not the case. It's never the case. As a matter of fact, when we built tractors to replace horses, we didn't run them on oats and they don't get tired. We replace, can you eat bed bugs? No. They crawl in your mouth while you sleep. Don't get me distracted. All right, so point I'm trying to make is we create technology all the time that we've, even with the dangers involved in it, from chainsaws to nuclear power, we manage to, most of the time, either we get it to a point where its function and its safety are parallel, and if its function goes below a certain worth point, we just don't bother to make it anymore. And if its safety drops below its functionality at any point, we have to come up with another system to replace it. So from an intellectual standpoint, we always, a lot of these things, AI is happening faster than most people thought, but we've been germinating on this idea for a very long time. And the idea that we're going to create something that will get annoyed with us and kill us all is this haunted man shouldn't play God, Flight of Icarus bullshit that humans have been dealing with in all of their stories in a way to keep people from really striving for any kind of advancement on a human technological scale for millennia. I mean, look back to the horror stories of the 50s, and it's always this, when we first talked about when they started talking about maybe being able to attach someone else's arm to yours if it fit, or organ transplants, or getting, like, maybe we could put the eyes of a person who's recently deceased in and give you brand new eyes if we could get to that technology. And then all the movies that came of it were like, they gave me the eyes of a killer, and everyone I see I want to strangle, right? That's where we go with it in our stories. And they're fun and they're entertaining, but they're not indicative of the actual functionality of any fucking thing we interact with. And yet, on a pop culture level, and on a social level, we act as if they are. We behave, we talk about these things as if, the Fly, like Psycho, doesn't die in the first 20 minutes of the fucking movie. And before we go on to our next clip, if I have time. Do I have time? Oh, shit. All right. I'll do one more before I get out of here because I want to. But my problem when I watch The Fly, this is a great example. I'll give you an example intellectually of science fiction versus science reality in a situation where you're talking about a possible technology, and if you could master this technology, what would come from it? And in The Fly, you'll recall, anybody see the Jeff Goldblum one, the really good one? And there's so much smart stuff in that. The politics, insect politicians and all that kind of stuff. So great. Where he vomits on his donut. The arm break in it when he's arm wrestling because he wants to procreate because that's all he cares about. And the maggot that's born, like, it's very Cronenberg. The whole thing. Oh, so good. Yeah. Be afraid, be very afraid. All of it. So great. I love that movie. However, the movie becomes really intolerably stupid 30 minutes in. And I'll tell you why. Does anybody recall what he shows to before he tries to send the monkey through? What he shows to Gina Davis, what he actually does. He takes her stocking, right? And then he puts it in the thing, and he teleports it across. Remember, it was her stocking. That was the first thing he teleported, was her, well, in front of her anyways. He'd been doing it with physical items, all right? And how on his shows do I need to be a patriot? Yes. Yes, for the live stream of the comedy shows, yes. No relation to Earth Girls Are Easy. It's great. It's terrific. But it's the scene the movie ends for me. You know why? Because, yes, exactly, Paul Young. He says, I can only send inanimate objects through. I can't send people. Who gives a fuck? Can you imagine the advancements in the world if you could send physical items via a wire, where you could deconstitute and reconstitute physical matter? Who gives a shit about living things? Transportation the world over would shift over fucking night. There's no point. And you own it, so you could spend the next fucking 25 years trying to perfect the flesh part. Who gives a shit? Oh my God. Yes, you lose your ability to suspend disbelief. Who gives a fuck if you still have to fly someplace or take a goddamn train? The very fact that you could send inanimate stuff everywhere, you turn every telephone line becomes a road now. Are you fucking stupid? Like, why? What she should have done is grabbed him by the fucking... No more lost luggage. Exactly. You just send your fucking luggage ahead. Why? Why? Who gives a shit? And I wish Gina Davis had just grabbed him by the collar and went, do you realize what you can do? Are you stupid? Who cares? You work it out. This is so far beyond. Yes, it's basically, and then it goes to be a replicator. Right, Debbie? Because then you think about the technology. Because if the technology exists for the copy to arrive, and it's just a copy, if you feed enough energy into the second thing, you can print another one. You can make another one. Like, take off one of her stockings. This is how the movie should have ended. Take off one of her stockings, puts it in there. Oh my God, my stocking went through. It disappeared here and came up there. Yeah, but the nice thing is if I put the same amount of energy in, it'll make another one. Now you have two stockings. Like, what the? It's a factory too. It does everything. Who cares if you can send life through it, you stupid moron? Right, Star Trek buffer concept for teleports. Exactly. It's like, it drove me fucking crazy. When I watched the movie, I was like, are you insane? Like, this makes no sense. Yes, and you can make giant ones and small ones. Yes, that's right, CSL. All the related tech that's possible in this situation is like, it's nearly unfathomable. It also goes to the fucking, the skateboard in Back to the Future 2. Remember the hoverboard? Why the fuck do any of the cars have wheels? If you have that kind of tech, everybody's got a Luke Skywalker land speeder at that point. What the fuck? I love it when you watch the chat. Sorry, it just... If you had that, yes, let's just say all it could do is rebuff gravity this much. That's enough to end friction forever. Friction is one of the biggest energy sucks in transportation. You're done. That's it. You just run, like trains, fuck maglev, everything. Oh, it just drives me crazy. Like, and that's the problem. Sometimes it's like, it looks really cool. Yeah, but think about what it took to invent that shit. Yes, no more tires, no more nothing. Yes, it's a gravity repulsor. You could get off the fucking planet. Sometimes when they create a technology in a movie and people react to it, you have to understand that there were so many steps come into play in making all this stuff happen. And we've watched it happen with smartphones, for fuck's sake. Car phones, beepers, anyone? Jesus Christ. The same thing is going to be true of AI. It will have an enormous leap forward. It will have a limit on what it can accomplish. And then it will be tasked on certain things like fucking crazy. And that will be an enormous advance, no question. But it can still only advance on certain kind of data points based on what humans actually want from it. The biggest lag in AI right now is what the fuck is it for? besides putting somebody out of a job. There are things you can do cheaper because you have AI write copy for you. But if you want to revise it, you got to sit down and do it yourself, and you still got to judge it, and you have to explain to it. And explaining the changes you want are way harder than explaining them to a person with talent. So it'll be a little while. Might be a couple years, and then it might be, everybody now is used to this kind of like AI writing style that just nobody can avoid. So you need humans to come up with something that's obtuse, that actually works, that you can replicate, a style. So anyways, I'm fascinated. Every technological advance lately seems to include masturbation. Well, CatFem, you're not wrong that porn is absolutely one of the birthplaces of the internet, and AI, once it's able to provide a sexual service for human beings, that's when it will take a giant leap forward. Maglev is incredible tech, absolutely. Are you forgetting the Republicans in your analysis? No, because it won't matter. That's what I'm saying. Use AI to cure cancer. They're already working on it. That's like all the mRNA vaccines. They're already working on that shit right now. Porn determines all marketable recording mediums. No question. And the same thing will be true of the metaverse as well. That's what it will jump forward. Gamers and porn will push all interactive technology all the time. AI is not going to kill us all. AI has no impetus to kill us all because we don't. Cure cancer and sexual stuff, please. Yes, I agree. All right, let me jump onto one of these things because we'll talk about this all fucking night, and I'm going to be late for my show when I wanted to start early anyways. Okay, so all right, because of this, we need a double dose of dumb. Can we do a double dose of dumb tonight to finish us out? We're going to talk about this on Friday. Friday AI is going to be crazy. I'm prepping something for that one that I want to show you guys. Use AI to shave retro porn, but that's part of the. All right, never mind. I would rather use AI to remove the meanness from modern porn. How about that? Go back to how just kind of cheesy sexy it was in the 70s. You know what I mean? Everybody up for a hump? I'm just saying. All right. So here we go. How dumb? This dumb. Alex Jones responds to Trump's speech restoring justice in America. Oh, talk about the absolute opposite of the brain trust I was just referring to. How come I'm not coming tomorrow? To where? Hold on. Are you not coming on tomorrow? No, I'll be on tomorrow. Yes.
There is no more dire.
Jesus Christ, it's loud. Hold on one second. There's no more dire threat than them coming after me for being a fucking
to the American way of life than the corruption and weaponization of our justice system. And it's happening all around us.
It's happening all around us. Oh boy. Oh, I'm losing spine juice.
Not restore the fair and impartial rule of law, we will not be a free country. I will do whatever it.
Oh, that takes nerve. Alex Jones cut out. This is like a 3-minute fucking video, and Jones was like, can you snip out?
To save our legal system among the greatest achievements of Western civilization from the mark.
Like wheels and walls and Wally Wheels and Wally World. Oh, that's me.
Barbarians who seek to destroy it.
So the system has really caused a fundamental awakening.
Yeah, it totally has. And by the way, system, by system, I mean, of course, my colon, because you have never seen a person more backed up and jacked up by turds than one Alex Jones. My entire butthole is a false flag.
The question is, what do we do with that energy?
I think we got to bottle it. I think you're right. I think Trump has got a certain kind of magic. We should turn him into a reactor. You know, he could be our own Fukushima Daiichi.
We let him divert it off into a race war or some type of idiotic. No.
You sure? Wait, no, what was the second one? Divert it off into. What are our options? Divert it off into a race war or some kind of. I mean, I'm going to need at least two choices in that. So I guess, guys, we're going to have to go with divert it off into a race war then. Yeah. Oh, well. fun while it lasted, I suppose.
Expose that the globalists are in control of the cyber system. They're in control of the power to turn the power off.
The power to turn the power off to the people.
It's cutting off the energy.
Cutting off the energy.
They're the ones destroying the borders. They're the ones starting the wars. They're the ones.
They're the ones doing everything. They live underneath the small hatch in my basement. They pull the trigger on everything. Nothing is our responsibility. People don't do anything. It's the global elites that do this. I need some cheese.
Pedophilia. They're the ones doing it all to brainwash and control our children.
Really? I think I mean, again, are you worried that they're stepping on your gig or? Good one, Alex.
Way of life than the corruption and weaponization of our justice system. And it's happening all around us. If we cannot.
He just played this. He's doing it again. Oh, he does this shit where he plays the clip and then they play a graphic and then they play the thing.
Of our government that are illegitimate.
Hold on. Wait, who's illegitimate? He's got paperwork.
To seek to destroy it, and we will do that. We will save it. Thank you very
much. We're going to save it. We'll do it. And, it's an emergency. It's happening right now. Our whole country is being destroyed. But in a couple of years, I will do what I can. I'll fix it right back to where it was. But it's destroyed. It's absolutely rip Portland.
Everything Trump said is true.
Well, it's on Truth Social. I think that's as close you're going to get.
And we need more of this, and we're getting more of this because...
Oh, yeah, he's cranking these things out, man. They're fucking magic.
We'll bring down the hijackers, the usurpers, the occupiers of our government that are illegitimate.
I mean, he got voted out 2 years ago. I don't think we have much to do.
President Donald Trump, quote.
Yeah, it's not that nothing ever starts, nothing good ever starts that way. President Donald Trump, quote. Yeah, that's, you're going downhill from there.
There is no more dire threat to the American way of life than the corruption, the weaponization of our justice system.
Hey, fuckhead, we just watched that. Are they not telling you what videos they just played? We saw it. Play it again.
And it's happening all around us.
Uh-huh. Gee, why in the world would Alex Jones want to further the idea that the Justice Department is untrustworthy and our system of justice in this country is untrustworthy and that the wrong people are being attacked and that the right people are going free? Why would he I can't for the life of me think of a reason why Alex Jones, of all people, would want to undermine faith in our legal system. I mean, I could think of a few reasons, like a billion.
100% true.
Cool. As opposed to...
If we cannot restore the fair and impartial rule of law, we will...
This is the worst ventriloquism I have ever seen in my life. They're playing the video over you, dum-dum. Does everybody just fucking left?
Be a free country. As president, I will be my personal mission to restore the skill.
This is so weird. Why is he talking for him? Why are they playing the silent video of him speaking? All right, if this is AI, I am not impressed. Supposedly, they could deep fake faces and voices. This is absolute shit.
Justice in America, we want fairness and equality under the law. And to that end, I will appoint U.S. attorneys who will be the polar opposites of the Soros district attorneys and others that are being appointed throughout the United States.
Good Lord. Look, this set is fucking ridiculous. And I'm not entirely jealous because I think part of it is silly. I'm jealous of the size of the space and the ability to have, like, guests and shit, I suppose, in that regard. But it's fucking embarrassing. Like, that set is absurd. I swear to God, it looks like something like late 90s website graphics. Oh, he's got a way bigger screen. He's got multiple screens. That's the thing, is he's trying to spend some money on the show to make it look like he's not going broke.
Very unfair to our population, very unfair to our country. They will be the
Yeah, we heard it. Get the fuck over yourself.
Marxists engaging in select.
Whatever. All right, now he's talking. Jesus Christ. Why would you stop it? What do you...
Rights law. I don't know, they get up and say, if a white shop owner shoots somebody that's shooting a gun at them, we're going to put them in prison, but if...
No, I haven't heard that one yet. If a white shop owner is shooting at someone who is shooting at them, we're going to put them in prison. Said no one ever?
Black, we're going to let them do it. I think
I'm confused. If they're black, we're going to let them do it. A black shop owner? So only black shop owners can shoot people who are shooting at them? What is this world coming to? It's terrible. And I mean, honestly, don't we want an America where everybody can shoot everybody? That's the America that Alex Jones has been fighting for forever. By the way, please, there's going to be like serious things touched on in this video. This asshole is going to bring up things that actually matter and comment on them. Please don't, for even a second, take him seriously. Don't allow this asshole to hijack the ability for you to give a shit about issues. He doesn't get to drag you in and make you think that important things that require thought and care and humanity have anything to do with his fucking show. This is the bait. Jesus.
it deserves the same rights. As part of this effort, there's...
Wait a minute. But deserves... Hold on. Let me finish out that thought. Hold on. The black people can shoot anybody something.
Shoot somebody that's shooting a gun at them, we're going to put them in prison. But if they're black, we're going to let them do it. I think everybody deserves the same rights.
But if they're black, we're just going to let them do it. We're just going to let black shop owners shoot at anybody who's shooting at them. But white people, I think everybody should have the right to shoot at any of their customers. You should be able to, shit, I can shoot a customer a week and get away with it. Wait, what movie is that from? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? In this neighborhood? Pal, I could shoot a customer a week and get away with it. Anybody? I will wait, chat room. I will wait.
Of this effort, there should be a federal inquiry into the Soros prosecutor in Austin.
Get over it.
Of protecting the right to self-defense, which is under siege nationwide.
No, it really isn't.
Absolutely is.
No, it isn't.
We will have a complete investigation into the use of police state.
Look at this. They're cross-fading to like the ghost of George Soros is coming in. Super Jew. We're being haunted by Super Jew.
By federal authority.
Die Hard 2. That's a good one. Running Scared. Not bad. One of the Fridays. Nope. Close, though, probably. Clerks. Nope. I'll give you a hint. Whoopi Goldberg.
To arrest conservatives and Christians. We will find out who ordered it and hold them totally accountable.
Totally. We're going to hold them, like, totally accountable. Not, like, partially accountable. Like, totally. Guys are going to be, like, totally. Ghost. Bad Boys. Close. Jumpin' Jack Flash was close. Nope. Almost. Nope. Not. Nope. Burglar. Water Goddess got it. Well done. That's right. And right behind them, Captain Turp got in there as well. Burglar. Yep. It's where she threatens to shoot the guy from the TV show Riptide in his one movie scene that I know of.
Can you believe this is actually happening and we're battling back?
Gosh, that's two questions that I feel very strongly about. Can I believe it's actually happening? No, because it isn't actually happening. You're making it up. That you're battling back? Yes, I believe you are shadow boxing with reality every fucking day of your life.
Because they can't get away with this if they're being challenged at this level.
Yes, by an orange asshole at a golf facility in Florida. Dear God, whatever will the U.S. government do?
There is much more that we must do. We have to confront this radicalized.
We saw the video. Just play the video. Why are comment on it or something? This is fucking boring. Has he not seen? I know he's seen my fucking show. Alex, you dipshit. You fuck. You've seen my show. I know you're watching right now, or somebody around you is. You're watching this, probably watching this later when we clip it. You putz. This is boring. Use the video, stop the video, comment on what he's saying. Just do the opposite of what I do. I stop when you peak the dipshit meter, which is I know always. But mine's very finely calibrated. My dipshit meter is very finely calibrated. Otherwise, it would just be pegged all the time when we're doing an Alex Jones video. And I've got to get, otherwise I can't stop every syllable. God damn it. Just do that, but do it with what you like about him. Go, oh, that was amazing. When he said this, I loved that. I don't want to. Why am I helping this asshole? Why the fuck am I helping this idiot?
Schools. We have to take a look at what they've done to our schools, our beautiful schools.
Our beautiful schools are. Oh, is he just reading all the scripts from these?
We'll reform the far left bar associations and stop the purge of conservative lawyers from major law firms.
We're going to stop every one of my lawyers getting busted for lying in court because I ordered them to lie in court. And that's supposed to be, everyone's supposed to be my personal Roy Cohn.
I will do whatever it takes to save our legal system, among the greatest achievements of Western civilization from the Marxist.
Oh, motherfucker, we saw that part.
And I posted, having the text of that posted on the live show feed.
Why? Just post the video. Do you think it's less embarrassing and stupid if you read it? It isn't. What is he doing? Oh, thanks so much, Robert. I'll send your love to Cho when I get home. Thank you, SS420.
Today.
Oh, good. I hate to wait. And by the way, don't use a desk mic, asshole, if you're going to slam paper into it. Listen to that shit.
That's powerful. And I posted, having the text of that posted on the live show feed today.
Jesus Christ. Maybe dial it back a little bit. I think somebody's cat just jumped off the counter.
When you see takeovers in third world countries and Western countries throughout the last 100 years or so.
Yeah, in general.
It's almost always the security services and a weaponized judiciary and prosecutors that take over.
Well, I'm gonna have to say that in whenever you have most of the time when you have a coup in a third world country, for example, it's going to be people with guns, and most of the time that's the police or the military. However, in the case of the Euromaidan, for example, in Ukraine, for example, when they got their freedom and their ability to elect their own leaders and without Russia pulling the fucking strings, it was a little different, wouldn't you say? Also, the United States Revolution. We drove out the British, certainly, but we did it via specifically well-regulated militias, if I do say so my damn self.
And when you get a criminal mafia in control of law enforcement.
Yeah, but we managed to get through it, though. Trump lost the second time, so it was sketchy for a bit, but we got past it.
That is the most common form of tyranny that destroys countries. And
yes. So statistically speaking, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's the heart disease of the destruction of third world countries.
Empires, for that matter. It happened in Rome. It's happened in Germany. It's happened in Russia. It's happened in Cuba and Venezuela. And the list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's happened in every country that hasn't maintained its government since the time of Rome. It's happened at the Vatican. Thank you. That's very sweet. This framing works well for my face. I try.
That's what we're in right now. And these
No, we're really not.
People are the very worst scum the planet's ever seen. That
You know, you'd kind of have to like Nazis or the Stalin regime or the Mongols or I don't know, the fucking Aztecs to think that. You'd have to go, I like the cut of their jib. I like that whole cutting 40,000 hearts out of the chests of innocent people to bless a temple thing. You know, that's fine. But this whole, like, passing an infrastructure bill and shoring up the stock market by trying to stabilize the currency after a worldwide pandemic fucked with the economy, that's evil. Truly evil.
Hijack the government.
I agree. Somebody in the chat room said Hitler kind of sucked. That's true. Totally true. Yep. Yep. I mean, obviously, Alex doesn't think he sucked as much as we think he sucks. And I would argue that not only did he suck, he still sucks, even though he's dead. In general.
Now,
your face is huge. It gets huge sometimes, it's true.
And the rest of the government's a cross-section of the population. There's some great people, some good people.
Thanks. I feel seen. Also, why are you crossfading over your weird, piss-colored map of the United States? What is that?
Some bad people, some asleep people. The government's not our enemy. Just like if you're on a jet.
Okay, here comes an analogy. Where he just like if you're on a jet, how's he gonna dig the fuck out of this?
Flying from London to...
Does it really matter? Saskatchewan. No. Tempe, Arizona. Nah, fuck it. Portland. Well, no, not anymore. Hashtag rip Portland. You had to bring it up, didn't you?
Frankfurt, Germany. And a guy jumps up and says, I've got a bomb.
That happens a lot. London to Frankfurt. Does he have a German accent or is he Welsh? I just need to go along with this. Is he a leprechaun? I've got a bomb. And where does he want? So he doesn't want to go to Berlin, is what you're saying. I don't know why he didn't just buy another ticket. It's cheaper than the bomb.
And if you don't give me control of the airplane, I'm going to blow it up.
Yeah, that's pretty standard from that kind of person. That's what I would expect, too. I think most people would expect that's what they, these days you might go, well, how do we know you're not going to blow it up anyways? We all saw what happened at 9/11. Why would we believe that you're actually going to bother to land? Like, we could be nice to you so that you could take control and you could take the plane someplace else and we could all be hostages and get off and there'd be a nice thing. But how do we know we're not just going to crash it in? So we're going to blow up either way. Why don't Dave and Sarah and Jim and what's your name again? My name is Franz. Franz, why don't we all just kill you? Maybe the bomb's fake. Maybe you're like Sonny Bono in Airplane 2.
And then he goes in and takes over and kicks the pilots out.
And then he doesn't know how to fly a plane. Silly man.
You don't start hitting the plane and attacking the windows and...
That's true. I will not start in that situation. It's one of the rare situations where I don't start punching the plane. There are people who take this man seriously. I will not be one of them.
Punching the stewardess in the nose.
That's not... Why'd you let them get my peanuts? What?
Politically incorrect, the flight attendant.
Does it really matter if you're hitting her?
You know the plane's been hijacked. So the plane is ours. The country is ours. And they're trying to now hijack the plane to go fly it into buildings.
Does it matter that their entire families are in the plane with us? I mean, all of them. It's one of those things like, it's not even that like they're going to fly this plane to the country where their family is because they're trying to escape. So they have a bomb on. They're like, hey, take me to Beirut because that's where my family and my religious people, I would like to divert this plane and take it there. But in this particular case, if the airplane is the entire country of America, then all the people who are running it live in the plane as well, with all their families. And I'm sorry, I made a mistake right there. I was trying to make sense of this, and it's dipshittery.
And we have to recognize that, and we have to
stop punching the stewardess.
Get into the cockpit.
It's a lot of people in the cockpit. You don't know how to fly a plane, though. And get the pilots back in?
Lawfully, politically, culturally.
Yes, legally, culturally, and politically, we need to get into the cockpit. I understand. Obviously, not from an aviation standpoint.
Remove them, extricate them out of the cockpit.
Right, bomb and all. Mm-hmm.
Instead of having a stupid civil war, killing each other because of what color we are, we have to realize the bad guys are driving the bus. They're flying the plane.
Wait, there's a bus too? Fuck. Are we doing speed or snakes on a plane? I need to know.
They got to get out of there. They got to get out of there right now. And they're not doing all this tyranny and doubling down because they're strong. They're doing it because they're weak.
I thought they were doing it because they had a bomb. If they're weak, how did they get control of the plane that was full of fucking tough guys? Excuse me one second.
But I'll tell you.
Tell me.
A cornered animal
would be... Okay, so there's a cornered animal in the plane now. Fucking, we are doing snakes on a plane. We are. Perhaps also snakes on a bus. And this is, what? What? That's fucking, what's the cornered animal? Because it matters. Because I'm good with cats and dogs, but if it's a baboon, it's a problem. A corner. So we've got a bomber in the cockpit. The pilots are dead. Nobody knows how to fly the plane. The bomber's entire family and their progeny forever are in the plane with us. And now there's a rabid baboon running around. This is a cocaine bear on the flight. No, a cocaine bear, he could handle. I think that's his fucking safe word.
It's very dangerous.
It is very dangerous. Very dangerous. I mean, on a scale of dangerous, obviously you could probably, it's limited. You know, you might be able to trap it in the john. I would put the man with the bomb and the opposable thumbs as more dangerous than, say, a honey badger in the turlet.
Don't think we've already won.
No, I wouldn't. Why would I think that? Because, I mean, I might think that because I haven't lost $1 billion lawsuit. You know, I could be persuaded that comparatively I have won.
But we've got a really good chance of winning because...
Is that what your lawyer said?
Is so strong. And look, I'll say this again.
Yes, you're nothing if not repetitive, Alex.
I was on a very popular show with millions and millions and millions of viewers.
You were on The View? When did that happen?
Tim Pool this morning, and I'll be on with him on his...
Oh, he was on Tim Pool's show. Very popular, millions and millions and millions of people. Yeah. Joe Rogan won't have me on anymore.
Show tonight here in Austin. He's coming visiting.
He's coming visiting. Oh, that's adorable. You guys going to have a night out on the town?
And we talked about it on air. We talked about it off air.
Uh-oh. Spilling some tea.
Everywhere he goes, and he's a well-known person, all he gets is basically support now. And that's all I get. And again, that wasn't happening 5 years ago, 2 years ago. So the system...
It could also be that you are much choosier about where you go, and you only go to places you know kiss your ass, just like Tim.
It's really caused a fundamental awakening. The question is, what do we do with that energy?
Yeah, that's a tough one. What do we do with that energy? I'm going to go with leak it into the groundwater and poison rivers and streams. That seems to be on brand for you.
We let them divert it off into a race war or some type of idiotic... No. Be exposed.
Oh, this is the loop back that he does in his fucking... I don't know why they cut their show this way. It's fucking odd. It's one of the reasons I don't do more clips from this is because they do this stupid, sloppy... They think like, here's a tease.
Liberals are in control of the cyber system. They're in control of the power to turn the power off. They're the ones cutting off the
testicles.
Energy.
Oh, I see. I was way off.
They're the ones destroying.
I'm not going to be late, Karushi. I started early, so I wouldn't be. I've got time. I got 11 minutes to stay on schedule.
Orders. They're the ones starting the wars. They're the ones funding the pedophilia. They're
funding the pedophilia. Funding it. They, I don't know who the fuck they are funding the pedophilia. You seem to know a lot about this, Alex. How much exactly does pedophilia pay or cost? I mean, what are you writing off on your taxes these days? The living shit? Funding it?
doing it all to brainwash and control our children.
Well, obviously, that would be the reasoning behind is buy some Alexa Pure. Take this thing and you put it in your wiener, and it'll make it work. I swear to God, it comes in this little thing, and then this is obviously a blown up picture of it or whatever, and you stick it in your pee hole, and then it allows you to pretend your penis works for hours on end. It takes out, you hook this up, and you aren't going to have any problems except the ones you already have. The problems you have will get worse, but in a predictable way. Alexa Pure. Alexa Pure? It sounds like a Clean Flicks version of Alexa, where it only says it says cheese and crackers instead of Jesus Christ and bucket instead of fuck it. Hey, if you put one of these in your pee hole, what water can make it out is completely clean. You could drink it, and trust me, because my safe phrase is Trump was right. Jesus Christ. Can I just say before I head off to do my comedy jokes, I gotta go out of here and I gotta change hats, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta go do my comedy bits. Going to Flappers tonight to do the comedy bits. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, I will be airing the entire show, which I have not prepared at all. I will be doing everything off the cuff, as I do with all of these Flapper shows. Other shows I might write stuff for. Other stuff I'm developing things for. But the Flapper shows are specifically so that I can write new material, and so I do not allow myself to prepare it all. And sometimes it's frustrating because I want to, and I have like a good idea. I just write it down, put it aside, and work on it in another venue. Check. Thank you, Water Goddess. Check your Venmo. What's my ETA tonight? There's good. But I suppose I'm going to be there at 6. I think. Thank you so much. Keep up the good fight. I will. Love that. And Coretta, thank you so much. And I missed one. Where was it? Message send to fail. And then, sorry, 1 second. Flappers has asked me when I'm going to be there. Let's see. Let's see. 6-ish, I think. Lovely. So, the show is 8 o'clock, I believe. I think so. Or it might be a 7:30 show. Hold on 1 second. Because the Monday shows are a different time. So, Flappers Comedy Club doing the comedy show. Hey. All right, go to their website and I will check that out. Somebody probably already knows. Yes. No, not Central. It would be Pacific time. Shows tonight. All right, where are we? 8 o'clock. Yes, 8 o'clock. I will be there doing a comedy bits. If you don't know, we don't. Yes, 8 o'clock. I thought it was 8 o'clock. I just thought because they just asked me, I was like, is it a 7:30 show tonight? Because it's a Monday, and it's not. It's 8 o'clock. It's gonna be fine. Anyway, so I improv these shows and then I record them. so that they can be part of a compilation of improv stand-up, but also because I will take bits from these things when they work, and I'll go, that I can build on. That's the seed of something great. And since I spend so much time with you lovely people, and because they don't really have open mics or any of that kind of stuff in Vegas very much, it's hard for me to just kind of get up and do stand-up in the traditional sense when I have a 5-minute piece and just jump onto somebody else's set. That's always been weird too, because you guys know with my Midwestern goodbyes, which I'm about to give you one because I got 4 minutes, that with my Midwestern goodbyes, that the idea that I'm going to get up and be a guest set on somebody's show and not do 20 minutes when they've asked me to do 5 would just be a dickish thing to do, and so I won't do it. Anyways, that said, love you guys. Gotta go. And then tomorrow, the show also might be early because I have to get on the road to go back to Vegas. So I might do an earlier time, even like midday, like noonish, something like that, my time, and then hit the road and head to Vegas because I might have a show tomorrow night. And so I'm trying to do that, just making sure I get you guys fed every day as best I can. But anyways, you're wonderful. Thank you guys for the support. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the bits, the subscriptions, the Patreon support, and the super chats and the Venmos and the Cash Apps and the stuff like that over here with these businesses and things. And all these lovely people going by down here. The credits don't roll on this version of the show, and I don't know why. I tried to do it earlier, and they just don't go. So I'll try and fix that for tomorrow's show. But anyways, needless to say, love you. Gotta go. Okay, all right, I'm going. All right, before I leave, I just wanted to show you guys one thing, and because it came up like just as I was leaving, and I saw it, and the little tidbit at the tail end. This business. I think somebody was talking about this earlier, and I didn't get to like go into it deeper because I didn't realize it had come up so obviously in this stuff. But you guys remember Ali Alexander? Hey man, you know, I'm MAGA as they come. The MAGA man can. Who can take the teen boys, ask them for dick pics? Yeah, so apparently, not only has Ali Alexander been asking teen boys for dick pics, he's been using Milo Yiannopoulos' name to do it, and he got busted, and he admitted, I apologize for any inappropriate messages sent over the years. He definitely, like, he's admitting to all this stuff. He's saying some of it was messed with, but I thought this was important. It wasn't so much that I knew about the story, and I was going to talk about it more on Wednesday morning because I knew it would flesh out, but there's something in this particular story I wanted to show you. It was, where is it? That I saw, where is it? Aiden Duncan, Mercy, okay, here it is. Alexander received funding from billionaire conservative mega donor Robert Mercer. Remember what Alex Jones just told us all about they're paying for the pedophilia? Apparently, the they he was talking about is Robert Mercer. And apparently the pedophilia he was paying for was coming from Ali Alexander, man. Don't do it. You know, you're making me look bad. I just thought I'd leave you guys with that. Okay, bye.